tackle? Looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there.
Oh, fine work there as he gets this thing down to the 11-yard line.
That's over 40 yards of movement with those last two plays. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
Right back to him on first down. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
At the Bucs 11-yard line.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7.
That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I don't see more than trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, and they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. Now Mayfield. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Mayfield looks to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. They'll run for it. This is White. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the first down.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Here's Mayfield. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Mayfield now.
We'll find his rookie wideout from Ohio State here.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain there of 21 yards.
That's his first catch of the game, and an impressive one against multiple defenders.
And how about that start? Really aggressive. Yeah, there was double coverage out there, but that didn't stop them at all. They went right at it and defeated it on that play.
On 1st and 10, here's Irving. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. From the 43, here's 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
One of the great coaches said football is a really simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush one, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
Mayfield. And they'll find the open man. That's complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, 42 yards. And the Buccaneers are able to add on to that lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down.
319.
To throw is Rodgers. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
He'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Hey, 626.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. Rodgers again now. He'll try and do this himself. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. They run behind center with Gainwell. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Elijah Cansey in on the stop. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well.
And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Kenneth Gainwell, 34 yards. And the Steelers have got it back to within a score. Boswell good with the extra point. And the lead down to 3 at 13-10.
Steelers 10. Chris Boswell, the kickoff for Pittsburgh.
Well now to kick it away after the touchdown. Well, now how about this return? And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
At their own 31-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
180. What's that?
Baker going to give it to Irving. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 91 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
That's good for a first down. It's a gain of 17 yards.
180. What's that?
First down.
They'll stay on the ground with Irving. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
At their 48-yard line.
20. What's that?
They'll try to throw here. Mayfield. The pass is caught by Cade Otton. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
3rd and 2.
6. 180. Hey, alert, 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 alert.
Throwing. Mayfield. Evans has it left side. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Set. 180. Set.
Handoff running left, Irving. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds.
180. Set.
To throw, Mayfield. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Chris Godwin, 40 yards. And the Bucs add 6 to their lead. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection? No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Following the touchdown, here's McLaughlin to kick off. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action, and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first two throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Rodgers now to throw. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll try and throw for it here. And it's going to be batted down. And will go the other way with the football. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. Now again, Irving running right. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the Steelers' 34-yard line.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Once again, it's Irving. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 105 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They go play action. Mayfield. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit and it forced an incompletion.
And that one not fooling anybody. Going to be taken down for a big loss on the play. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. How to approach this? 3rd down and 16 yards to go. Mayfield to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down. Chase McLaughlin now for the field goal try. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is no good. He missed it. And the lead will hold at 10.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game, and sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time will it result in points? We'll find out. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield.
And the Steelers first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Gainwell. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That good for 22 and a first down. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Man, let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you get the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
And they'll go right back to Gainwell here on first down. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
At the Buccaneers' 21-yard line.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate, and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Warren will try the right side.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Brings up second and goal at the 10-yard line.
158. 158.
On the give, it's Warren. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal.
Throwing is Rodgers. Throw left side complete. That's Warren. Touchdown!
Jalen Warren from 3 yards out. And the Steelers get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead is down to a field goal.
Steelers 17.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
At their own 28-yard line.
The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
180.
Throwing again on second down. Mayfield.
To the left side, he gets this one to Ibuka.
The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
Dead. 180. What's that?
Mayfield now from the 50. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And incomplete on the deep ball. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Chase McLaughlin to kick off for the Buccaneers.
This snow front that has socked much of the East Coast not going away as we are back to it in the second half.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
Now third down is looming. A pickup of 2 on first down and just 1 yard there.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute.
But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on fourth down. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
Straight ahead, it's Irving.
And he'll go down at the 28.
111 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a second down and 4. A run up the middle with Irving.
And he'll get this one down to about the 27. And they got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a third and 2 more.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
They'll try and run here with Irving.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third.
And that's where this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
45-yard attempt.
That's headed right. It's no good. He misses wide of the upright. And that will keep this a 3-point game. So it's a letdown there. They get the ball in tremendous position following the turnover, but they come away empty-handed.
Oh, man, you hate to waste field position like that. Your defense did you the favor of getting you the ball on this side of the 50. But neither the offense nor the kicking team can capitalize.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now Rodgers. Short throw to Smith. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First target, first catch, and a first down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now it's Rodgers. Over the middle to Smith. This is third and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though.
Brings up third and 1.
A handoff for Warren.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was third and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
And the Buccaneers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. And that could turn out to be a giant play, Charles. You got an offense driving to take the lead, but they're turned away on the INT.
And I think that we might look back on this in the fourth quarter and say, that was the play of the game.
Boom! Down fighting for tackles. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. And they may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
A gain of 15. First down, Buccaneers.
On the handoff, this is Irving.
And he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
180!
Mayfield on play action. He He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher. 3rd and 6. They'll set up to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 34-yard line. 27 yards there on a very nice third down conversion. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 34. Here's a handoff to Irvin. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, partner, they've been running it well the entire game, and the big guys up front, they're a huge reason why. And now they're reaping the benefits as they continue to open up big holes and gain nice yardage.
Mayfield off the play fake. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Chase McLaughlin now for the field goal try. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. Oh, nope, never had a chance. Well to the right, no good. And that will keep this a 3-point game. So the snow obviously wreaking havoc with a kicking game. That's now his 3rd missed field goal.
And you know kickers are creatures of habit, but kicking in the snow, that forces you to change just about everything. Your run-up, your plant, your follow-through, they're all a little bit different, and it costs him again here.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense. Gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Now Rodgers. And they're going to get this up to midfield. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
That's good for a Steelers first down. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
From midfield, here's Rodgers. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf, 49 yards. And the Steelers, on the final play of the 3rd quarter, have taken the lead. Flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
Back now in Pittsburgh, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter.
Chris Boswell to kick off for Pittsburgh.
Boswell on now to kick this one away. And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Irvin to about the 40-yard line.
Not a huge just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Mayfield down. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Trying to get away, but could not. Patrick Queen. He's the culprit, dropping him for a 2-yard loss. The Bucs on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 8.
Hey, alert 33. Stop.
Now Mayfield. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That was for the lead right there. They know they're in a position where fortune favors the brave. So they took their shot, but couldn't connect.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
180. Real. What's up?
Desperation time. Mayfield on 4th down. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Bucs try it on 4th down, but come up empty. And that will force a turnover on downs. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Warren. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Now run with Warren. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
And this is the worry because sometimes you get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
And he will have a Steelers first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
And the Steelers first down. First and 10 at the 25-yard line.
They'll run it. Warren. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7. Leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Good gain there on first down. And keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front. Good blocking. Nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage. Stays in bounds and keeps the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. 2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. Throwing now is Rodgers. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Levante David. And the Bucs are right back in this football game.
They'll take over first and 10.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. The interception sets them up with an opportunity to erase this 4th quarter deficit. Now, this series could very well determine our outcome. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want. And other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
Martin brings it in over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Baker going to give it to Irving. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42.
Nice run defense presented there, and what I mean by that is discipline. Guys filling the right gaps in the right holes, no one over-pursuing, and making a very nice play.
They'll send the tight end in motion. Mayfield. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
20. What's that?
Here's Mayfield. Oh, and a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. 2nd down, 8 yards to go.
180.
Mayfield looks to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. He has been terrific today, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely running flawless 2-minute drill right here. This has been quarterbacking 101 with a flourish.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Now Mayfield. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Mayfield to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
Mayfield. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
4th down, 10 yards to go.
180. What's that?
Here's Baker. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive game. Just keep that clock ticking.
This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Rodgers looking to throw. Now he'll tuck this and run. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
It'd be interesting to see what he decides to do the next time he's in the position we just saw there. Outside of the pocket, takes a throw downfield, it turns up incomplete. I wonder if next time he might take off and run.
That is intercepted. And the Buccaneers are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Mayfield. Far right, it's brought in by Otten. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. 2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now.
20. What's up?
Now Mayfield. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
And now defensively in the 2-minute drill, the big key to me, make sure you understand your assignments, and anytime you get a chance to tackle someone in bounds, get them on the ground.
Kings, Kings, Kings. 180. That.
Here's Mayfield. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. 3rd and long coming up defensively. You pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. And if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And the Steelers have just about sewn up this football game. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
Now Rodgers. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll try and run for it. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half.